name is Maddie Carmody.
My name is Marina Leo.
And my name's Avinome Levin. We are doing a senior level group performance.
Our piece is entitled Donald Winnicott, Breaking Barriers of Dated Perception in Child Psychoanalysis. Donald Woods Winnicott broke barriers of perception in the psychoanalytical community through his deconstruction and remolding of long-held methods of analysis which inhibited analysts from helping their patients in a compassionate and sustained healing process.
Through the development of his 3 intertwined theories pertaining to childhood development, the good enough mother, the true and false self, and the transitional object, Donald Woods Winnicott was able to conceive his groundbreaking assertion that child therapy should be based in play and free association.
Winnicott's ideas and methods pivoted the dogmatic perspectives of his colleagues, advocating that analysts have the duty to forge connections with their patients, breaking barriers of thought, and paving the way for altruism in psychoanalysis for generations to come.
To Donald Woods Winnicott, 12th of December, 1945. I mail you desperately regarding the recent neuroses of my 5-year-old son Jasper, namely a strange character he has assumed as of late. When he is grumpy or naughty, Jasper takes on the persona of a menacing little thing he calls Napper, complete with his own shrill voice. When I ask who has broken a vase or nicked a shilling, he says something like,
Napper was naughty. I'm very sorry, Mummy.
Until and aside from his assumption of the Napper character, Jasper has done everything his father Nanny and I ask with hardly any haste. He's very loving but passive and over-apologetic in a way that I feel a growing little boy shouldn't be. What makes a child so hopelessly insecure that he mustn't even use his own voice? I feel terribly guilty and I hope you will cure him of any hidden shames, those which are natural or which I have unintentionally instilled.
Jasper, can we play a game?
What's the game?
I'm going to draw you a picture of nothing and you can make it something.
Alrighty. It's a boy.
Eyes all dressed up.
He's got to look proper for his train north.
When put on the spot, the creative unconscious brings forth memory. For his first 3 years, Jasper resided on an artist colony in the North Country with his parents. Why hasn't the boy got any hands?
He doesn't need them on his trip.
He'll do everything with his toes.
Yes, in his mouth and tummy.
Man doesn't need hands if he doesn't have a baby with him.
At supper time, he'll get help.
Mummy needs hands to open a shirt.
Mommy doesn't need to pick up a spoon or a baby on the trip.
From his implication that without a duty to the home, the man has no need for hands, I gather he is an unconscious representation of Jasper's mum. Jasper never learned to distinguish his needs from his mum's, so she doesn't need a means of cooking or holding or cleaning when she's away from him. Mummy doesn't have hands until she picks you up.
Me and Mommy help each other.
You help each other with the chores.
And I'm a good boy for her and I eat all of her food.
Mummy goes hungry when she can't see you.
All the hands and tummies are filled up at the same time.
Dear Mrs. Hutchins, when an infant is new, it is under the illusion that its mother is an extension of its own will, that they are the same being. For example, when it demands milk, it receives milk near instantaneously, and for an infant with no physical sense of self, the only logical explanation for that is that the milk giver must be controlled by the infant. As a working artist, you are not the time to wean Jasper off this mindset. You adapted to your environment, and he adapted to you, learning that he must do so in order to keep you undistressed, so he never learned to distinguish your free will needs or happiness from his own. This week, I recommend playing with Jasper's teddy together. Give it a voice, cuddle with it, so your essence becomes projected upon it in his eyes. Eventually, he'll be able to comfortably separate himself from you because there's an object between you which provides your comfort but does not depend on him. An object to soften the space between you. A transitional object.
Hermine Hug Helmuth, the mother of child psychoanalysis, warned against providing children an outlet for their aggressions and deep distresses. She believed that if therapy dug too deep, it could foster hostility between the parent and the patient. Winnicott was the first to rationalize that transparency is key in the process of healing.
The full self alone is fostered through shiny deception. To possess shame, to possess guilt, to possess aggression is human. It is not dangerous. The only dangerous thing is repression. Hello, Jasper. How are you today?
Very good, Doctor. Me and Mommy made a pie.
I do like this child. Fondness in my field is often construed as a mortal sin, particularly by my predecessor, Melanie Klein. But free association and its interpretation are inevitably sentimental endeavors. If it is not truly free, if it is interpreted by one who is constricting themselves to the limits of an inhuman state such as objectivity.
Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor.
It's all right, Jasper. You may play with the cars and trucks.
Like me and Napper.
No, you're a big boy and Napper's a little one. Those are the same. The baby doesn't fit in the big red mum anymore. It's too big.
Me and Mommy've got everything the same.
Oh, see? You're yellow and she's red. She's got her own 4 tires and spends her own time alone. What sort of friend boxes are in the head?
naughty.
Are you naughty, Jasper?
No, Nappa's the naughty.
If Jasper were to be naughty sometimes, Mummy wouldn't be sad. You make her very happy, but she's also happy on her own. Where are those cars off to?
Yellow will see. Reddy's taking him away.
I presume Reddy is Napper taking the wheel. Would it be naughty?
No. Red is not the naughty. Yellow is the naughty. He's making him do everything.
Because Mummy must always be happy with Yellow.
Yes.
Dear Mrs. Hutchins, Jasper is suffering from a deep submersion of the true self, leading to a split identity. One side, which is hyper-obedient, exhibiting a fierce complacency due to his obsession with pleasing you because he sees your needs as like to his own, and the other, which is an outlet for his natural repressed infant wiliness. This week, I recommend breaking the rule together. Have a biscuit before dinner, have a shouting contest, make it an occasion. Help him learn he need not always stay in line to please his mum.
By particular Kleinian scholars, Winnicott was criticized for fostering a personal relationship with not only his child patients but their parents. They deemed it unprofessional, but in order to genuinely help a child, work must occur outside of a single hour per work.
Not only do I seek to help children learn themselves, but I seek to help parents learn their children.
Can we play the game again?
A cordial expression of want, no complacency instinct. A stable environment has been established. Do you want to do the squiggle or make it into something?
I'll make it.
Though Jasper exhibits fierce affection for the transitional object, he's able to set it aside. A good sign of lessening paranoia. A tree.
Yeah, an icky pea tree.
Oh, does Mum cook icky peas for you?
Yes, but sometimes I throw them down because they make my tummy hurt.
Typically, Jasper will refer to a naughty act as performed by Napper. His sense of self has been defined. Do you ever ask Mum for no more peas?
No?
She doesn't want you to be sick. Maybe she'd make you some carrots or broccolis instead.
Maybe.
Here's where a libidinal revelation may lie. These are Jasper's mum's unconscious selfish needs, and vomiting them would be an act of rebellion by the true self of the oral erogenous zone. But I have no logical or compassionate reason to propose this narrative to Jasper. My contemporaries, such as Anna Freud, criticize me for focusing less on the libidinal aspect of childhood development, but I believe that in the case of a young child, considering deeply its sexuality is a manipulative and immoral act. Without any consciousness of the matter for the subconscious to be brought into, nothing productive can result from forcing sexual revelation upon a toddler. Instead, we will play. Why don't you practice asking me? Pretend I'm Mum?
You be mummy.
May I see Teddy? Jasper, will you eat my ugly peas for supper?
No, mummy, no thank you, no, they make my tummy hurt.
You mean to tell me that if you eat my ugly peas, you'll be sick all over my fabulous house?
Yes, I'd make it all green.
Oh, heavens, oh, dilly do! What shall I do should Jasper lost my fabulous rug?
Maybe you just give him biscuits for dinner.
Why, young man, that'll only make you sick on my rug and brown.
Okay, fine. I'll eat my lamb, my spinach, my biscuits,
And no ugly peas.
Fair enough. But you must eat every last morsel of spinach if you are to have your biscuit.
Okay.
We mustn't be messy.
Thank you. The archetypal analyst was a man of elevation. The couch was his goblet, its reclined the sheen, the patient his wine. To me, elevation is something earned.
He never once rose above me.
There's no need to be grown up until we may do so together. Play therapy, the truly altruistic kind, is about seeing eye to eye.
Freud was a master.
Where I was a pupil.
Klein was a window.
Where I was a door.
Helmuth was a decorner.
Where I was a fertilizer. The mindsets of the past, clinical objectivity, condescension, and evidence-sowing all obstructed the analytic visions of my predecessors when it came to therapy as a humanitarian transaction.
For generations of psychoanalysts after him, Winnicott set the precedents that play, open-mindedness, and transparency were the most integral factors in the care for of children. In his later years, Winnicott became president of the pediatric section of the Royal Society of Medicine, and today, a foundation in his name raises funds for the pediatric care of premature and ill babies.
Winnicott's methods of play therapy, namely the squiggle game, have become a standard in the analysis of children, aiding many countless turbulent youths to a state of peace, independence, and awareness.
In the words of Winnicott himself, for a child, it is a joy to be hidden, but a disaster not to be found.
Thank you.